Hello, good morning, well, good afternoon as I should say now. Been busying around this morning, just looking at some of my books. I got a notification, an email today from Company's House that I've got to do some registration there. I've got a letter, an email from the Open University to say that I've completed my certificate in my economics 2008 uni session Keynesian Review. So I've got my certificate there. I've been pulling some books out to see what I'm doing next. So I've got a few here. I'm going to carry on with economics. I've got this book here, Economics, which I've read the first 34 pages. What do school teachers and sumo wrestlers have in common? Well, basically that's about cheating. So the first chapter's been on cheating. So I'll read some of that today. I'll try and do another 34 pages of that today. It's going to be a bit of light reading that. So I'm not going to process it as a document. I won't be learning from it. I don't think there'll be any reference to any learning material in. I'll just treat that as a little bit of light reading. So that's a bit of fun. I really need a light to read by. I've got some natural light here, but it's got a bit dark for me yesterday afternoon, so I'm going to start that now. Right, so what else have we got? We've got German. So that can be a bit of light reading as well. We can learn a little bit of that from time to time. Now this is really for Emma, my daughter Emma Bramwell. She's a manager now. And I pulled out one of my favourite books. It's my Manager's Handbook. And it's a fantastic little book, this. I've got a post-it in here for some reason in what do you value? And I've got a bookmark in working capital management. So I've been looking at working capital, and I've been looking at what do you value, just going through the back, managing your boss, managing the boss, that's a good section, making decisions, managing problems, managing tough situations, using time. I'm going to do a whole video on time management. I'll spend an hour talking to you about time management, Emma. I'll do a lot with you there. I'll do a special time management for you. Planning time. Well, with that we'll be talking about agile project management, Emma, so watch out for that video. I'll be doing that for you. Dealing with stress. We can talk about that. Coping with a crisis. Well, I'm in crisis, and that's why we keep going to the hospital. That's all driven by me, because I'm a bit stubborn, a stubborn old fart, and I use the crisis team to be on ends. So coping with crisis, we'll do a video on that. Exploiting opportunities. This is what I'm doing with the NHS, exploiting opportunities there in crisis. Handling trouble, yes, this is all about what I'm doing. Appraisal, counselling and promotion, and you'll need that, you should know that anyway. Making delegation work. All good stuff, this is all good stuff. Preparing to delegate, and that's what I'm doing now with Richard. This video is really about going out to Richard and delegating work out to Richard and Paul. Creating motivation, that's what I'm trying to do now, get some motivation videos done. This video is going to take about 15 minutes, I think, the way I'm going. Understanding motivation, developing an approach, selecting and shaping, all stuff I'm doing now. Finding effective training. Well, there you are, we can do that one now. Finding effective training. Go to protopage.com /economics 2020. Learn about business, learn about microeconomics, learn about macroeconomics. There's online books here. There's 9 hours of an online book. All you have to do is sit back and press go. Sit back and listen to it while you're in bed with your computer. And there's lots of videos on there on YouTube. Not Open University stuff that I've been sharing on YouTube. Better learning material from the Open University. Some interesting stuff. And I'll still populate it ourselves. I'll still be looking for stuff while I'm reading this through economics. So I'm just not finishing it there. You really need to look at economics, Emma, so we'll talk to you about doing that. Another section in the book, the need for training. It's all in here, Emma. On here. Seeking outside help. Consultation. Well, yeah, your dad's here, Emma. Your dad's the manager. Let's see what we can do with your career. Seeking outside help. Come here and spend some time with me. Using external resources. Well, I've got more books here Emma, than IT you ever want to see. So get your head round some IT and start working with me. Achieving results. Preparing and sharing. That's meeting management. I'll tell you, I'll do a standalone video on meeting management. And grapevine, there you go, the grapevine. Very important, the grapevine. I'm going to stop there. I'm getting excited. It's a great little book, this. Right? But the grapevine is very important. I'll tell you all about it. So, the manager's handbook for my daughter Emma Bramwell, for her to come round here and study and talk with me, so she can get a career going. Right. Thesis and project work. I've got a bookmark in here, see where I am with this one. The nature of the task. Choosing a subject, defining the topic, research and note taking, organising notes, writing the first draft, submitting all parts, editing a thesis, preparing the final version. There you go. Basically, that's what I've been doing with the Open University. So that's thesis and project work. I haven't read this in a long time. I decided what I want to do with Economics 2020, whether I want to write a thesis, a big thesis. Like I said, I've watched this 9-hour video on basic economics. What I'll need to do now is get a pen and paper and listen to that book again and take notes and do a table of contents and an index, and that will give me subject matter for a thesis on economics, and then I'll write a 1,000 page or 10,000 word document on economics. But that doesn't need to be a priority. That could be next year, whenever. I can think about doing that. I'll do the preparation. I'll look at the thesis and project work and do my note taking as I've been doing. Because I've got my psychology course with the Open University. I'm keen to get started to get that out of the way as well. Because that was registered in November. And then if we get that out of the way, get me psychology out of the way. It's 28 hours. I should be able to do it in 10 hours. I'll look to see then if there's a German course on the Open University, and I'll take the time to do a German course and with me light reading. Right, getting serious now. Got some award certificates. Right, In Search of Excellence. A bestseller. Got lots of bookmarks in here. This page. Structured interview plus 25-year literature review. Companies. Blue Bell, General Foods, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble, Ingersoll Rand, Texas Instruments, Xerox, Westinghouse, Hewlett Packard, Ingersoll Rand got into this book. An excellent company. I was trained as a manager, and I've got me what I call my bipolar picture here. I'll show it you. There you go. There you go. That shows you that across a number of periods there's very little going on, very little activity. But towards the end of the project and implementation phase, there's lots of activity going on. And that's why I've been diagnosed as being bipolar, because I do projects all the time, and then I get very, very busy. And I get obsessive with it and all of it. It's great. I'm working all the time, work hard all the time. Right, the McKinsey 7S framework: structure, strategy, systems, shared values, skills, style and staff. So that's what we're working on: strategy and systems and staff, skills, style, shared values. We're working on the McKinsey 7S framework. What else have we marked in here? Close to the customer. Thinking about the customer there. So I'm going to think about that. And autonomy and entrepreneurship. So I've got a bit of reading there because I'm trying to start this business. For you, Emma. But I need help from Richard because he's a programmer. I'm not a programmer. And I'll put that down on the ground here because that's a little bit of light reading as well. You can have that book as well, Emma. You can borrow it. You're not having it. It's in your reference book. Right, some awards. Right, I've done an award for Scott Curry for fundraising and education and charity for golf. We raise money playing golf for charities. Scott does, and an achievement for his son Ben, who I've spelt incorrectly. Right, an achievement for Chris Earle, my ex-boss at Veristar, for the excellent work he's doing there, moving the company forward, expanding the company by organic growth. Matthew Radcliffe of American Golf for running Adams Golf Day. Emma Bramwell for her communications and services to charity for raising, and it's wrong, it should be £16,000. I've done that at £1,600. JB Pipe for looking after me in my car, and JB Pipe for donations to charity. Similar to John Delaney, donations to charity. And one for myself for communications and services to charity. Right, I'm going to rip those up. Because they've all got bent. And some of the people who I wanted to do them with, I don't think they deserve them. So that was all planned for an award evening at Hazel Grove Golf Club. I'm doing an award evening with an artist called Daisy Kate to do some entertainment. Now, I believe Daisy Kate's doing very well, and she's moved down to London. but father Steve has a band called Snatch, and he has three of them out of Snatch operate as three Northern Monkeys. So I'm having an evening's entertainment at the golf club when COVID's out of the way, and we'll do some presentations to people who helped me along the way during my time of trying to get this business up and running. The business, Red Octopus Business Services Limited. Still trying to get it going, still trying to work out. Need help from Paul and Richard. Can't go anywhere without Paul and Richard, can't do anything. Now some heavy reading. Industrial decision making and high risk technology. Industrial decision making and high risk technology. Right. Got a bookmark in here. It's a chart. On the chart is design, draft, site selection and technical project. One slight problem, it's in German. So I've got a little bit of learning to do there. I'm sure it's in German. It's a bit stupid of them, that. So there we go. I'll put that down in the German project. Right. Whoa, let's relax a minute. Stiff. Cramped over here. Right, 17 minutes. Right, we've got more books to go at now. That's all about the economics. Let's go through some golf books now. I'll put my thesis in management book with my German and excellence. Get Emma involved there somehow. Get her interested. Right. A very important book. Small bore target shooting. Teaches you how to meditate. Teaches you how to breathe. Teaches you how to relax. Teaches you how to use two eyes independently. One to look at flags and indicators, and one to look at target. Teaches you how to use your body and use your chest to get the gun to go up and down and get it onto the target. It teaches you how to gently pull off the shot and hopefully get a ball. Interesting, that. Grouping, two grouping. One grouping is unreliable ammunition and the other one's bad shooting. And as you can see, the unreliable, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shots in the ball, and then 2 dropped out into the magpies, and that's ammunition that's too powerful. It's raised up. There's an interesting one down the bottom. You can see 2 cards. One's a very tight grouping, and the other one's a bit of a splattered grouping. That's what you're trying to achieve in golf. You try to achieve grouping. It doesn't matter that it's not in the centre of the target. That is showing excellent shooting. It's just that you've not got your sights adjusted correctly. All your shots are together, tightly knit. And although Group B is a better score, the grouping's wider. Now, there's one thing you do when you're shooting. You take dead aim. You take dead aim at your target. And that takes me on to, where are we? I've got some books here. This book here, Harvey Penick, little red book, tells you about taking dead aim. It's one of his things. He has little sayings: the left heel, backspin, easy bunker, hit a full approach. The easiest lesson. An excellent book. If you're a golfer, you must buy it. You must read it. And in one area, he says, take dead aim. Well, there's his little red book. And there's his little green book. And I've got a bookmark in here, his little green book. And then a teacher's guide. Now I've got to take the red book and the green book and write about them on my Golf Hub website. That's protopage.com, the Golf Hub. Or I'm going to write about it on Withington Golf Club site. Protopage.com, Withington Golf Club. I'm going to set up a section there for junior golf. I'm going to start to write about my books. Right, so I've got my target shooting book, because one thing you do when you sight yourself up for a target, you sight yourself up in the same way for golf. You imagine you stood on railway lines. Railway lines running parallel to the target. And you stand and you take dead aim at the flag. And you get yourself square, all your body posture's got to be right. All the handles have got to be right. And you take dead aim. So good old Harvey Penick, I like that one. We need light reading. Golf Addict. A gift from Maureen Knight. An old book. Not a new book, she's dead now, Maureen. Right. Used to belong to C. Lawton. It's a second-hand book. Right. Never got around to reading it. I'll put it on my light reading book. My light reading. I'll put that with my Freakonomics. For a bit of fun reading. Casual reading. Freakonomics. Casual reading. Put that down there. We're getting somewhere now. Right. Essential for golfers. Must have. Must buy. Ben Hogan. 5 lessons. The modern fundamentals of golf. A must buy. You must buy it. Tom Watson. Getting Up and Down. A brilliant book. You can read it in an evening. There's very few words. There's lots of pictures. And he talks about turning 2 shots into 1, or turning 3 shots into 2 by visualising the shot. And I'll tell you a little story here. I was with Mick Johnson, my IT services manager. We were playing at Heaton Moor Golf Club, where Mick was a member. He was a really nice chap, Mick. I got on with him well. He liked me, and we got on together. He had a bit of a tragedy though. He's a squash player, really, and he snapped his Achilles, so he took up golf. Anyway, I was playing with him on this occasion, and his short game wasn't as good as it should be. So I was playing with the hole. I was about 80 yards from the hole. I said, Nick, I'll just give you a little bit of a tip here. I'm in a good position here. I've got a green in front of me, and what I can see the actual contours on the green. And what I'm looking at now, I'm just in this light rough here. I'm looking at the line of the ball, and I'm imagining what type of contact I'm going to get on the ball, because that will dictate how the ball's going to fly. And then I'm looking at the green to see how I can get the ball close to the flag. Now, looking at this line, I think the ball's going to come out fairly flat. So I'll be looking at trying to pitch the ball on the front of the green to get it, and then you've got to imagine it as a putt. You've got to imagine it rolling up the green and then breaking with the green, going towards the hole. So in this shot, I'm going to imagine the ball coming out fairly low. I'm going to play a 9-iron to help it out. I'm not going to play away. I'm only 80 yards away, but I'll play a 9-iron. I'll play a low trajectory shot, and hopefully I'll pitch it on the front right-hand side of the green, and the green breaks away to the left, and hopefully the ball will break somewhere towards the hole. So I got down and took the shot, and I played the shot, and it came out exactly how I described it. It landed exactly how I described it. It broke and ran out and dropped in the hole from 80 yards. I said, just like that, Nick. That's what you got to do. You got to visualise the shot, and then you got to play it. And we laughed. You know, the chance of it happening is, no chance really. But it was one of those magic moments. There's lots of magic moments, lots of little magic golf tales I'm going to tell and put on Willington Golf Club website. So I'll put this down as a golf tale, and I'll load this video onto Willington Golf Club website. Right. Interesting golf. Pick these up from Charleston Books, second-hand bookstore. The Golfer's Handbook. The Golfer's Handbook. Pick one up. This is a bit battered. 1998. Tells you about all the champions. Lots of interesting stuff about golf clubs. Facts and figures. Let's see the price of it. Picked it up from Charleston Books. I think I paid £8 for it. £8, there you go. So, God knows how much that costs to produce. Worthwhile having one if you golf. Shows a bit of interest in golf. As does this one. A must buy. Decisions on the rules of golf. I've got a couple. I've got a red one and I've got a blue one. And they produce these every year, the Royal Ancient. This is 1995, and it's all the rules that all the decisions that they've had to administer during the year. People have written in saying, can I have a ruling on this? Can I have a ruling on that? Let's see where we are. I must have the golfers. Rules of golf. Always carry one in your bag. Another little story. Out with my son Adam. We went to watch Lancashire versus Cheshire at Wilmsall Golf Club. And we were waiting round about the 18th. And there was a bit of a delay. They weren't coming round. We got chatting to people. What's going on? There's a bit of a huddle on the 17th fairway. There's a bit of something going on. So I said, I'll walk up and have a look, see what's going on. So I walked up with my son Adam, and there was a big argument, and all the officials were there. I said, what's happened? He said, it's a foursomes, alternate shots, and Lancashire played out a sequence. So I said, what's the problem? It's the horse of hold. It's they played out a sequence. It's loss of hold. I said, if you want, I'll show you the rule. Have you got a rule book? Yeah, I said, and it's all that whenever you go on a golf course, you should have a rule book. Certainly you lads here officiating, somebody here must have a rule book. Can we borrow your rule book? Of course you can. I said, yeah, you can have it. You can get another one from the golf club. So that was Lancashire versus Cheshire. The officials out officiating without a rule book. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I must have members' phone numbers. My golf club has moved away from a handbook, and I don't play golf anymore. I can't do golf. And they're contacting people who friends with. Like Adam Bramwell died in 2016. Didn't get one phone call from his friends at the golf club. Been a member there for 1988. Not one person called me. They did put the flag down for Adam. I'll give him that. John Goddard, good old John. Good on you, John. Told them to put the flag down. They put the flag down for Adam. But no, I haven't had a phone call with anybody. Well, that's his golf stuff for you. You've got acquaintances at golf, but you haven't got friends. People who play with you and people who take ale off you, you buy a drink. Quite a few actually, that'll let you buy them a drink and not get a pint back. You have to watch out for them at the golf club. There's quite a few of them about. But yes, upset me a lot. Upset me a lot that nobody's bothered to ask how I'm getting on, and I'm suffering really. Being without Adam's terrible. But we're still working on Withington Golf Club, the website for Withington Golf Club, for the juniors section. And I've shown the new secretary manager about it. I've got the golf books now, and I'm writing up on my Withington Golf Club, protopage.com, Withington Golf Club, about books that you should have. Now, one book that should be here has gone missing. I think I've given it back to Scott. It's called The Golf Machine, and it's a brilliant book. It was written as a relational database. And it takes you through all the positions and the shots of the hands and the feet and the takeaway, and every position as a relational database. And you have to read it. You have to go from section 2.1 to section 3.7, to section 4.9, to section 8.2. It's a brilliant book. Brilliant book. If you're into data, if you're into fine detail, fine analysis. And it's called The Golf Machine. I'm convinced I've given it Scott back, because it's one I wanted to start writing up. I want to follow it back off him. So there we go. Right, where are we? Books. Still on golf. Golf courses of Cheshire. There is something called the Cheshire card that you can buy, and it'll get you cheap golf at Cheshire golf courses. This is a particularly nice book. It's many years old now. Mark Rowlandson. A lot of the clubs, some of the clubs are no longer there. A lot of the clubs have changed. I'm looking for the date. 1995. 1995. A good book. A good book for looking at golf courses and seeing the layout. Seeing the layout. So that's Heaton Moor. Mention Heaton Moor. There you go. Look at the 9th. Have you got the card? 9th. 309 yards long. Par 4. Been on it, hit it in one. Drove it. Drove a shot. It was a dog leg. It's a dog leg from right to left. But if you open your stance, you put lots of loft on your driver, and you hit it over some poplar trees, you can slide one in, you can slide someone in down the practice ground. And very dangerous shot. Very dangerous shot for people playing on the practice ground actually. But can be got at. There you go. Allen's 309 yard drive, Heaton Moor. Comment was when I went to the ball, played in front of it. Yeah, it was. He said, "Oh, it could only be you." Yes, it could only be you. I take on the shot. Yeah. ABDFGH. Hazel Grove. Hazel Grove. The old layout, not the new layout. In fact, I don't recognise the layout of that at all. It's a totally different layout than I've seen before. It's must have been another layout. So Hazel Grove's changed, right? So that's another thing I've got to put onto my golfhub.net. I've got to go through that and do some extracts of some narratives from that and write that up on the golf club. So I put that with my casual. Freakonomics, it's casual stuff to do when I've got a bit of time, and meals for one. You've got to think about your food. You've got to think about eating when you're playing golf, and you've got to have good nutrition. I'll put that with the golf courses. I'm doing a website called protopage.com nutrition, and I'll go through meal for one, and I'll put it on my nutrition website. So it's all to do with golf. The book that slipped in here, I just pulled this one out. Homer, the Odyssey, a bit of light reading. Right, we'll go through that. So that's been light reading. Still on golf. Tiger Woods. I'm going to do protopage.com, the Withington Golf Club. Series of lessons. I'm going to base it on Tiger Woods' book. I'm going to go through Tiger Woods' book, and we'll do lesson plans and session plans. And I'm involved with junior golf now for 14 years with young masters golf and bite-sized golf. So it's about time I started doing the old learning material, and we'll use as a basis of that Tiger Woods, how I play golf. And I'll put that on the casual pile as we bit of fun. No rush in doing that. It's an hour's entertainment here, an hour's entertainment there. But at the end of the day, I start off with doing the placeholders. I've done it already on the golfhub.net. I've looked at YouTube. I looked at YouTube videos, and I put them on golfhub.net, and I've done them as short game, long game, mid irons, and chipping, and I don't know what I've done. But I've looked at YouTube videos, and there's lots on protopace.com, the golfhub dot protopace.com, the golfhub, or get there through the golfhub.net. A hole in fun, humorous stories, present again from Maureen. Never got around to reading it. And the last book to do with golf is A Magical Mystery Tour by my cousin Tony Bramwell. It's about the Beatles. It's about the Beatles. Tony was a manager for the Beatles in his day. He wrote the Magical Mystery Tour. Now I'm going to do something called The Party in the Park, which is a concert with a band. I think I've just mentioned them. 3 Northern Monkeys. I'm just waiting for COVID to get out of the way, and we'll raise some money for some junior golf lessons, and I'll do the session plans and lesson plans for group lessons, and then I'll be advertising to the local community, kids in the community, kids in the local schools, come down for some free golf lessons. I'm going to try and get the junior session built up. So I've got my decisions on the rule of golf. I'll put that with casual pile as well. The casual piles built up there now. Right, now just relax for a second. Time to get serious. Time to get serious. We need to build a database application. Conference that I went to, education and innovation. I've got the qualification to teach, and I teach people online. Got a website called protopage.com, Digital Champions, which is to teach people how to do IT online. And ideally, I want 7 people who can program, that I can start to design databases for, and they can start to do the programming. Ideally, I could do with 7 junior golfers, ages of about 14, that will want to go to university, that want some training before they go to university. So that would be the ideal, to get hold of some kids and get them involved. Now we've got the books, we need the books. SQL Server 7 in 24 hours. Teaches you how to use SQL Server in 24 hours. Achievable. Lots of these IT books about in 24 hours. Right? Achievable. Right. Then you go to the Microsoft book, MCSE, SQL Server 7 Database Design. So once you learn how to use it in 24 hours, you go to the Microsoft book and read that. and that will tell you how to design databases. SQL, SQL, programmer's reference. Once you've learned how to, I've got a bookmark in here. Bookmarked in, create table. And there's the code to create a table in code. 3-4 lines long. All you've got to learn. It's not a lot, is it? So I'll put that one back in there. And I've got another locked insert table. I have to do an insert. There's how to do an insert. Not brain surgery. 24 hours should get you up and running. Richard, I've got a problem. I've got a Dell machine, I've got a Panasonic machine, I've got a Toshiba machine, and I've got a Samsung machine. And I had my beast. But my beast died. It had Windows 2000 Advanced Server on it, and it got hit by a power supply problem, and it blew up. And it was the machine that I got to learn SQL Server on, SQL Server 7, all those years ago. And I was hosting a website with ASP.NET. So here we go. ASP.NET 24 hours. We achieved it. I've done it. It was it. I had the skills to write it. I was happy. I had a machine. Wasn't happy with the insert and deletion that we didn't get around to develop. This is 20 years ago now, Richard. It's 20 years ago. And we were up and running. We were a step away. We only needed to do a little bit of work. Unfortunately, you moved away. And I did the insert and the delete using the grid from Visual Studio, but didn't like it. So I wanted something better. So I've been trying now for 20 years, Richard, for you to do the SQL Server standards that we should be working to today. And this is where MVC comes about. I've not got an MVC book here. Richard, you did send me an online version of an MVC book, and I've got it online where I can read it. And I did load Visual Studio and got Nick at work to show me how to do an MVC view, and we did one, and it took no time at all. It took minutes. I thought, right, I should now be able to go and start to codify, thinking that MVC was an extension of ASP.NET. And I tried, and I failed. Couldn't get it to work. Couldn't do it. And the SQL Server doesn't look like it's operating how it should. Can't do diagrams. And I eventually decided to read the book that you sent me, and I read the first paragraph and learned that MVC was not an extension of ASP.NET, but it was a new object, it was a new method. So I've given up. It's been 20 years of trying to get an environment working, and I've not been able to do it. I've never tried that hard, to be perfectly honest. I've never tried really troubled you. I've asked you for problems, and you've sent me solutions, and I've kept going. But it's a tragedy, really, that in all that time, that you've never got around to doing what I've asked and show me the standards for doing an MVC. And now it's moved on. We're looking at Blazer now. That if we're going to be doing anything, it'll probably be a Blazer. So Richard, I'm appealing to you. Let's get this project started. Let's do a database table, the company structure database table that I've been asking you to do now for 2 years. What an add, amend, and a delete, so I can see the standards, and then you can print the code off and send me the code, and I can try to replicate that on my Samsung to see that my SQL Server and my MVC is working. And if we can do that, I'll be away then, once I've got a version working, and I can do a lot of design. But I think if we're going to move forward and design something, that it's not down to me. I'm not going to be able to do the programming. I'm not going to have the skills to do it. I'm not going to have the patience to do it. I can do the design work, Richard, right? And I can do the analysis. I can do the documentation. I can do the marketing. But it's not going to be down to me to do the programming. I'm afraid that I'm going to pull the rug away from below me now. I've got my other books here. I've got I Can Make You Rich. And I've got my bookmarks in there. From Resentment to Riches. Well, I've got a lot of resentment at the moment, Richard, and I'd like us to get into some riches. Got HTML4 for Dummies. I'm still doing HTML. And I've got Presenting C#. And I've got Visual C#. So, well, finally, I've got SSADM, Structured Systems Analysis and Design. Well, I don't know, I've got a bookmark in here. Stage 1, investigating the current environment. Right, so that's where we are. We're investigating the current environment of a company called Lamantec. And I can start using SSADM because I've never used it. I've seen systems fail and used it. I've seen systems generate masses and masses of documentation and failed. But SSADM was the way that was what people were looking for years ago, and now they're looking for agile. And I know what we used to produce. We used to produce feasibility studies and program specifications and design specifications for waterfall programming. Now, if we're going to be developing, we're going to be developing in agile. And I'll be the product owner and Scrum Master. Well, I'd like you to be the Scrum Master. And I'd like you to take on this as a big project, Richard. But I want it to be fun. Now, I think we can deliver something. If we delivered 1 or 2 tables a week, it would move us forward. And then we could decide in 6 months' time whether we want to put a lot of effort into it and turn it into a package. We could be taking on SAP if we wanted to, or QuickBooks. or Sage if we wanted to, or we could do interfaces into them. We could do simple solutions, real simple solutions with an interface into Sage. Payroll front end with an interface into Sage is something that I'd like to do. But it's not going to be me that's going to be doing it. I don't have the skills, and I don't want to be left alone doing it. It would make me ill. It would make me ill. Well, I've got the books, and I'll once I see some movement, once I see that we're actually developing code, and you can show me code that works, I'll have a go myself. I say, Richard, this is directed towards Paul as well. You know, Paul has found himself a job using Power BI. He decided to go down the Laravel route with Linux, with PHP, MySQL. Well, I've loaded MySQL. It doesn't look like it's doing everything it should do, and I can't get to see Paul for him to help me out. I can't get the environment. I'd be prepared to invest in money if Paul could build me a machine that was mirroring his machine with his environment, with code on using Laravel and PHP, MySQL and MVC. It'd have to be MVC because of the companies that I'm looking to deal with. I'm looking to deal with Veristar, and they'll be MVC. It seems such a shame that we're not pulling together. Paul's pulling in one direction, you're pulling in another direction. You're looking to do Blazor, and I don't hear from you. So this video now has taken an hour. You can see all the books that I've got. You can see everything I've got going on. I've got plenty to keep me going. It would be nice for me to be able to say I'm confident in doing C and C# and Java and start coding it. I'm sure that if I focus all my attention on doing that, I could do it. But I don't want to. I'm too old into it. I'm too long into it. It's down to you lads, I'm afraid. Right, next video is going to be on Agile Project Management. We're going to see if we can get the three of us working together on an Agile project. That's Paul Edwards, Richard Gilbert, Alan Bramwell, working for Emma Bramwell as CEO of Red Octopus Business Services Limited. Unfortunately, Emma doesn't want anything to do with it, and Richard and Paul are doing their own thing. But the answer, I'm afraid, is with me and the Mantech, which is an import-export firm. So we're looking at Brexit. We're looking at import-export systems, which goes back to that German book that I'm trying to read about European trade and making decision making for high technology. So I've got a few books to get through before I get to that, because that's going to be a serious book to focus on. I've got the psychology to get out of the way first with the Open University, and I'll start that now. In fact, I'll do some light reading before the light goes. Right, that's been 1 hour. And it's really aimed at directing Richard. Richard, it's down to you, mate. How much time you're going to spend with me? So there you go, 1 hour.